The floating city of Elara glimmered in the soft light of the twin suns. Towers rose like crystal fingers, their balconies wrapped in gardens of glowing plants. Below, the clouds swirled in colors no human had seen on Earth, reflecting the energy that pulsed from the planet beneath. Lena stepped off the transport platform, her boots clicking softly on the metal floor. Her eyes widened. She had never seen anything like this. "Look at that," Milo said beside her, pointing to a balcony that jutted far into the sky. Golden lights danced around it, almost like fireflies. "People say the balconies show visions, things you can't imagine." Lena frowned. Visions. Sounds like a story to scare tourists. She pulled her backpack tighter and followed Milo through the winding streets of the floating city. The air smelled sweet and fresh, a mix of flowers and ozone. Everywhere she looked, machines floated quietly, keeping the city balanced above the clouds. Their mission was simple: investigate the strange energy fields the scientists had detected near the tallest towers. But as Lena watched the lights flicker along the balcony rails, she felt an uneasy pull in her chest. Something about this place was different. Alive, almost. Milo led her to the observation tower. Its base was anchored to a wide platform, but the balconies above seemed to float freely in the air. "The energy is strongest at the top," Milo said, eyes sparkling with excitement. "I want to step onto the balcony first." "You coming?" Lena shook her head. "I'll watch for now. Heights aren't my favorite." But curiosity gnawed at her. She couldn't help staring as Milo climbed the narrow stairs, his movements confident. Each step made the golden lights flicker and pulse, almost like they were responding to him. When Milo reached the balcony, he paused and looked down. The city below seemed to stretch endlessly, and the clouds glowed with strange colors. Then his eyes widened. Lena noticed a faint smile on his face, one of wonder mixed with awe. "What do you see?" she asked, stepping closer. Milo's voice was quiet, almost reverent. "It's beautiful. I see landscapes, mountains that float in the sky, rivers of light, forests that shimmer like metal. And people. But not people I know. Aliens, I think. Or visions of what could be." Lena's heart beat faster. She wanted to reach out to him, to understand, but the edge of the balcony seemed impossibly far below. She swallowed. The pull she had felt earlier grew stronger. She wanted to step closer, to see for herself. I don't know if I should," she admitted. "What if it's dangerous?" Milo turned, his eyes wide with excitement. "Sometimes, the most incredible things are a little dangerous. Come on, Lena. Just one step. You'll feel it." She hesitated. Her mind raced with doubts, but the urge to understand was stronger. Carefully, she placed her foot on the balcony. The lights flared around her like fire dancing in the wind. A warm, gentle current wrapped around her body. Lena gasped. Suddenly, the city seemed to fade. She felt herself lifted, as if the balcony were floating in another world. Strange shapes and colors surrounded her. She saw mountains glowing with blue and gold, forests that seemed alive, and rivers that flowed upward into the sky. The air hummed with music she couldn't hear but felt deep inside her chest. Lena blinked. Milo's voice echoed in her mind, though he was standing beside her. "It's incredible, isn't it?" "Yes," she whispered, awestruck. "But, what is it?" "I don't know," Milo said. "The energy, it reacts to us. Maybe it's alive. Or maybe, it's showing us something we need to see. Lena reached out her hand, feeling the light brush against her fingers. It was warm and soft, almost like a caress. She had never felt anything like it. A sudden thought struck her: this wasn't just a vision. It was a test, a message. Something wanted them to see, to understand. For a long moment, they stood together on the balcony, watching the visions dance around them. The twin suns dipped closer to the horizon, turning the clouds into a swirling palette of red and gold. Lena's fear began to fade, replaced by wonder. She had come here to study energy, but she had discovered something far greater: a glimpse of the unknown, a world that challenged everything she thought she knew. Finally, Milo turned to her, eyes shining. "We need to investigate more. There's something behind this, something calling to us." Lena nodded, her heart still racing. "I agree. But we need to be careful. If this energy is alive, it could be more powerful than we imagine." As they descended from the balcony, the city seemed to settle behind them. The lights dimmed, and the visions faded, but the memory lingered, bright, impossible, and beautiful. Lena knew this was only the beginning. The temptation of the balcony had called to them, and now their adventure was just starting. The floating city of Elora glimmered in the soft light of the twin suns. Towers rose like crystal fingers, their balconies wrapped in gardens of glowing plants. Below, the clouds swirled in colors no human had seen on Earth, reflecting the energy that pulsed from the planet beneath. Lena stepped off the transport platform, her boots clicking softly on the metal floor. Her eyes widened. She had never seen anything like this. "Look at that," Milo said beside her, pointing to a balcony that jutted far into the sky. Golden lights danced around it, almost like fireflies. "People say the balconies show visions, things you can't imagine." Lena frowned. "Visions? Sounds like a story to scare tourists." She pulled her backpack tighter and followed Milo through the winding streets of the floating city. The air smelled sweet and fresh, a mix of flowers and ozone. Everywhere she looked, machines floated quietly, keeping the city balanced above the clouds. Their mission was simple: investigate the strange energy fields the scientists had detected near the tallest towers. But as Lena watched the lights flicker along the balcony rails, she felt an uneasy pull in her chest. Something about this place was different. Alive, almost. Milo led her to the observation tower. Its base was anchored to a wide platform, but the balconies above seemed to float freely in the air. "The energy is strongest at the top," Milo said, eyes sparkling with excitement. "I want to step onto the balcony first." "You coming?" Lena shook her head. "I'll watch for now. Heights aren't my favorite." But curiosity gnawed at her. She couldn't help staring as Milo climbed the narrow stairs, his movements confident. Each step made the golden lights flicker and pulse, almost like they were responding to him. When Milo reached the balcony, he paused and looked down. The city below seemed to stretch endlessly, and the clouds glowed with strange colors. Then his eyes widened. Lena noticed a faint smile on his face, one of wonder mixed with awe. "What do you see?" she asked, stepping closer. Milo's voice was quiet, almost reverent. "It's beautiful. I see landscapes, mountains that float in the sky, rivers of light, forests that shimmer like metal. And people. But not people I know. Aliens, I think. Or visions of what could be." Lena's heart beat faster. She wanted to reach out to him, to understand, but the edge of the balcony seemed impossibly far below. She swallowed. The pull she had felt earlier grew stronger. She wanted to step closer, to see for herself. I don't know if I should, she admitted. What if it's dangerous? Milo turned, his eyes wide with excitement. Sometimes, the most incredible things are a little dangerous. Come on, Lena. Just one step. You'll feel it. She hesitated. Her mind raced with doubts, but the urge to understand was stronger. Carefully, she placed her foot on the balcony. The lights flared around her like fire dancing in the wind. A warm, gentle current wrapped around her body. Lena gasped. Suddenly, the city seemed to fade. She felt herself lifted, as if the balcony were floating in another world. Strange shapes and colors surrounded her. She saw mountains glowing with blue and gold, forests that seemed alive, and rivers that flowed upward into the sky. The air hummed with music she couldn't hear but felt deep inside her chest. Lena blinked. Milo's voice echoed in her mind, though he was standing beside her. It's incredible, isn't it? Yes, she whispered, awestruck. But, what is it? I don't know, Milo said. The energy, it reacts to us. Maybe it's alive. Or maybe, it's showing us something we need to see. Lena reached out her hand, feeling the light brush against her fingers. It was warm and soft, almost like a caress. She had never felt anything like it. A sudden thought. The next morning, Elora was quiet, bathed in the soft glow of dawn. The twin suns had risen slowly, painting the city in gold and silver. Lena and Milo walked through the floating gardens, the plants swaying gently in the warm breeze. The memory of the visions from the balconies still lingered in their minds. I can't stop thinking about it, Milo said, his eyes scanning the horizon. The visions, they felt so real. I saw entire worlds, Lena. Worlds we've never imagined. Lena nodded, her curiosity growing. I know. I saw them too. Mountains floating in the sky, rivers of light, it's like the energy is showing us something important. But what? They reached the base of another tall tower, one of the city's oldest. Its balconies were narrower and higher, jutting into the clouds. A faint golden glow flickered along the rails, similar to what they had seen yesterday. Lena hesitated, her hand on the railing. Do you want to try again? Milo asked, excitement in his voice. I think I have to, Lena admitted. I need to understand what's happening. Milo smiled and stepped onto the balcony first. Lena followed cautiously. As her foot touched the metal floor, the golden light flared around her. The warmth she had felt yesterday returned, stronger now. The city below seemed to dissolve into mist, replaced by the strange, impossible landscapes of the visions. This time, the visions were different. Lena saw a wide valley filled with glowing trees, their branches stretching toward the sky. Rivers of shimmering blue flowed in strange patterns. In the distance, beings with light in their eyes moved gracefully, as if dancing with the air itself. She felt no fear, only a deep sense of wonder and longing. Milo's voice called softly. Do you see them? Yes, Lena whispered. It's beautiful. But it feels like a memory. Or a future. I can't tell which. Suddenly, the energy pulsed around them. Lena felt it responding to her emotions. When she focused on awe, the colors grew brighter. When she felt fear or doubt, the light dimmed. It was alive, she realized, reacting to their thoughts. This energy, Milo said, his voice trembling, it's not just showing us visions. It's communicating. It wants something from us. Lena frowned. But what? And why here? Why the balconies? Before Milo could answer, the visions shifted. Lena saw the city below, but it was different: collapsed towers, broken balconies, and streets filled with mist. A sense of danger pressed in. She gasped, stepping back slightly. Lena. Are you okay? Milo asked, his eyes wide. I saw something bad, she said. A future where the city falls. We can't ignore this energy. It's warning us. Milo nodded slowly. Maybe it's not just visions. Maybe it's showing possibilities. Things that could happen if we don't understand it. Lena took a deep breath and steadied herself. Then we have to study it carefully. We need to know what this energy is and why it's here. As they focused together, the visions changed again. This time, Lena saw herself standing at the edge of a balcony, holding a glowing device in her hands. Milo was beside her, and the city around them shone brightly. She felt a sense of responsibility. If they made the wrong choice, the city could be lost. If they made the right one, it could thrive. The energy, it's testing us, Milo said quietly. It wants to see if we're ready to handle something greater. Lena nodded, her heart pounding. Then we need to be careful. One wrong step and, she shivered. The thought of losing the city, even in a vision, was unbearable. For hours, they stayed on the balcony, observing the light, recording data, and speaking in whispers. Each new vision revealed more of the planet's mysteries: floating mountains, glowing rivers, and ancient structures hidden in clouds. Yet the energy always seemed to return to the city, as if reminding them that their own world was at stake. Finally, the light began to fade. The vision slowly disappeared, leaving Lena and Milo standing on the balcony, breathing heavily. Lena's hands trembled slightly. I think it's waiting for us to make a choice, she said. Milo nodded, looking at her with determination. Then we need to prepare. We can't let curiosity lead us blindly. If the energy is intelligent, it will challenge us and we have to be ready. As they stepped down from the balcony, the city seemed calm and peaceful. But Lena felt a lingering pull, like a quiet voice calling her back. She knew this was only the beginning. The visions had shown her wonder, beauty, and danger. And somewhere, far above the clouds, the energy waited, patient, alive, and full of questions. Lena glanced at Milo. Tomorrow, we go higher. We have to understand it. Milo smiled. And whatever happens, we face it together. The suns rose higher, bathing the floating city in light. Lena took a deep breath, feeling both fear and excitement. The temptation of the balconies had grown stronger, but so had her resolve. The adventure was just beginning and the answers lay in the visions above. The next day, Lena and Milo returned to the tallest tower in Elora. The twin suns were high in the sky, warming the floating city, and the glowing plants in the gardens swayed gently in the breeze. Lena's mind was restless. The visions from the previous day had shown beauty, danger, and responsibility, but they had also shown something else: hints of knowledge hidden in the energy itself. We need to understand how it works, Milo said as they approached the tower. His eyes were bright with determination. It's not just visions. It's a message. And I think it's tied to the structure of these balconies. Lena nodded. Then let's examine them carefully. Step by step. They climbed the narrow stairs, passing levels Lena had never noticed before. At each balcony, the golden lights pulsed faintly. When they reached a platform near the very top, the energy surged stronger than before. The air hummed around them, warm and vibrating, almost like a living heartbeat. "This is it," Milo whispered. "The center of the energy field." Lena's eyes fell on the balcony floor. Strange markings were etched into the metal lines, shapes, and symbols that glowed faintly under their touch. "Look at this," she said. "These aren't just decorations. They're runes. Ancient symbols." Milo knelt down, running his fingers over the carvings. "I think these are controlling the energy. Maybe these runes are alive in some way, or they're connected to something alive. They respond when we touch them." Lena leaned closer. A wave of warmth flowed through her hand as she traced one of the symbols. Instantly, golden light swirled around them, forming shapes in the air. Visions flashed before their eyes, floating mountains, rivers of shining blue, and beings of light moving gracefully among the clouds. Lena gasped. "It reacts to us," she said. "The energy, it listens. It reacts to our presence, our emotions." Milo nodded. "It's a test. The runes are designed to see how we respond. Fear, curiosity, caution, boldness, it records all of it." Lena's heart raced. "Then it's not just showing us visions. It's challenging us. If we fail, what could happen?" Before Milo could answer, a wave of energy surged stronger. Lena was lifted slightly off the floor. She felt fear, excitement, and wonder all at once. The visions around them grew brighter. In one, she saw the floating city collapsing under a storm of glowing energy. In another, the city thrived, powered by the same light that surrounded them now. "We have to choose carefully," Milo said, his voice firm. "This energy will reward wisdom, not recklessness. If we act only for ourselves, it might turn against us." Lena swallowed, trying to calm her racing heart. "Then we need to understand it fully. Step by step. No rush." As they studied the runes, a pattern emerged. Each symbol seemed connected to an emotion or action: courage, patience, cooperation. When they worked together, touching the runes in sync, the visions became clearer. They saw the city's potential: beautiful gardens, glowing energy streams, and floating platforms that could expand the city into new areas. "But it's still dangerous," Milo said. "See here." He pointed to a cluster of runes glowing red. "These warn of collapse if the energy is misused. If someone tried to take it for themselves, the city could be destroyed." Lena nodded gravely. "Then it's a real challenge. We have to resist temptation, even if the energy offers us more than we can imagine." For hours, they explored the tower, tracing runes, taking notes, and testing the reactions of the energy. Each balcony offered a new trial: visions of personal glory, paths of fear, and glimpses of impossible futures. The energy was alive, and it seemed to understand their intentions. At the very top, the last balcony presented the final test. The energy here pulsed with blinding brilliance, forming shapes and colors more intense than anywhere below. Milo reached for a rune, and Lena followed. As their hands touched the symbols together, the visions coalesced into one powerful image: a glowing device at the edge of the balcony, its light spreading safely into the city below. "That's it," Milo whispered. "The energy is showing us the solution. If we act wisely, we can harness it to protect the city. But if we act selfishly," he trailed off, eyes serious. Lena felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. The temptation of the visions was strong. She could imagine standing alone, controlling the energy, shaping the city however she wished. But the thought of harming the people she had come to care about and the city itself stopped her. "We do this together," she said firmly. "For the city. For everyone." Milo smiled. "Together." The golden energy pulsed softly, as if acknowledging their choice. The visions faded, leaving Lena and Milo standing side by side, exhausted but determined. They had passed the first true challenge, resisting temptation and understanding the responsibility that came with the energy. As they descended the tower, the city below seemed to shimmer with new life. Lena looked at Milo, a mix of excitement and caution in her eyes. "This is only the beginning," she said. Milo nodded. "The real test is still ahead. The energy has more to show us, and more challenges waiting." The floating city of Elara glowed beneath them, full of possibilities. Lena felt both fear and hope. The challenge of the balconies was far from over, but for the first time, she understood one thing: the energy was not just a mystery, it was a teacher. And the lessons it offered would change the city forever. The day was clear, and Elara sparkled under the twin suns. Lena and Milo stood at the edge of the top balcony, staring at the golden path of energy that stretched into the sky. It seemed alive, shifting and swirling as if inviting them to follow. The light shimmered like liquid gold, and faint shapes danced along its edges, whispering possibilities they could hardly comprehend. This is incredible," Milo said. His eyes followed the path as it curved around other balconies, some impossibly high and thin. "The energy is leading somewhere. We have to follow it." Lena nodded, swallowing her fear. "One step at a time. We've learned so far that rushing won't help." She adjusted her backpack and took a deep breath. The warmth of the energy brushed her skin, and a soft hum filled the air around them. It was both calming and powerful. They began their journey, stepping carefully from one balcony to another. Each step triggered visions that danced around them like living paintings. Lena saw skies painted with colors she had never imagined, islands floating in midair, and creatures that seemed to glow with light from within. Milo saw rivers of golden energy twisting through mountains, and cities built entirely of crystal. "It's amazing," Milo said, his voice trembling with excitement. "But also challenging. Look at this balcony." He pointed to one that stretched far into the clouds, almost disappearing into mist. "The energy makes it feel dangerous, but I think it's testing us again." Lena's heart raced. She felt a wave of fear as she stepped onto the thin balcony. The wind whipped around them, and the city below seemed impossibly far away. But the golden energy pulsed warmly under her feet, guiding her. She realized it wasn't trying to hurt them, it was measuring how they handled fear. "I can do this," she whispered to herself, focusing on each step. Milo followed closely, his movements careful but confident. Together, they moved across the balconies, their hands brushing against the glowing energy for balance. As they progressed, the visions began to show personal possibilities. Lena saw herself standing alone on a balcony, surrounded by the energy, shaping the city with her own hands. The temptation of power made her pause. Milo saw himself admired by countless people, a hero in every vision. The energy seemed to offer them everything they could want: freedom, knowledge, control, but it came with a warning: one wrong choice, and the city could fall. "We need to stay focused," Lena said quietly. "These visions, they're tempting us. We can't let them distract us from the real goal." Milo nodded, taking a deep breath. You're right. Together. That's how we get through this. Step by step, they moved further along the path. The energy flared and pulsed in response to their emotions. When fear crept in, the light dimmed. When courage and trust guided them, it shone brighter. Lena realized that the energy wasn't just a guide, it was a mirror, reflecting their inner strength and intentions. At one point, a strong gust of wind swept across a balcony, nearly knocking them off balance. Lena grabbed Milo's hand instinctively, and the golden energy surged around them, stabilizing the balcony. The moment passed, and they both laughed nervously, relief flooding through them. See? It's helping us, Milo said. But it also wants to see if we can trust each other. Hours seemed to pass as they followed the glowing path. Each balcony presented a new test, narrow ledges, sudden gaps, and visions that challenged their desires and fears. But Lena and Milo moved steadily, supporting each other and remembering the lessons of the runes below. Patience, courage, and cooperation guided every step. Finally, the path led to a hidden platform that extended far beyond the visible city. The energy here was brighter than ever, forming a wide circle of golden light. In the center stood a device, glowing with the same warmth that had guided them across the balconies. Lena and Milo approached it cautiously, their hearts pounding. This is it, Milo said softly. The energy wanted to lead us here. Lena nodded. She felt awe and responsibility pressing down on her. We've made it this far. But what now? The energy is showing us the device, but why? Before Milo could answer, the golden energy swirled around them, forming visions of possible futures. Some showed the city thriving, expanded, and safe. Others showed it falling apart, crumbling into the clouds below. Lena realized the energy was waiting for them to make a choice, not just about the device, but about their intentions. We have to think carefully, she said, her voice steady. This is more than curiosity. It's responsibility. Milo agreed. And we have to do it together. That's how we've made it this far. That's how we'll succeed. The suns were setting, casting a soft golden glow over the hidden platform. Lena and Milo stood side by side, ready for whatever decision lay ahead. The journey across the balconies had tested them, tempted them, challenged them, but it had also shown their strength and unity. The energy pulsed one last time, bright and warm, as if acknowledging their courage. Lena felt a quiet determination settle in her chest. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. The hidden platform, the glowing device, and the mysteries of Elora awaited. And the next step in their adventure was about to begin. The hidden platform stretched far above the city, golden light shimmering all around. Lena and Milo stepped carefully onto the center, where the glowing device waited. It was small but intricate, covered in patterns similar to the runes they had studied on the balconies. Warm energy pulsed from it, filling the air like a quiet heartbeat. Lena knelt beside it, brushing her fingers over the symbols. The device responded instantly, flaring with golden light. Visions appeared again, clearer than ever. She saw the city below thriving, streams of energy flowing through its streets, plants glowing brighter, and people moving in harmony with the floating towers. Then, just as quickly, the visions shifted. The city collapsed, towers crumbling, bridges breaking, golden light scattered like sparks into the clouds. It's showing us possibilities, Milo said, awe in his voice. If we use this energy wisely, we can protect and grow the city. But if we use it selfishly, he didn't finish the sentence, but Lena understood. The consequences could be catastrophic. This device, Lena said softly, it's controlling the visions. It's connected to everything: the energy, the runes, the balconies. Someone, or something created it to test us. Milo nodded. I think it's an alien creation. Ancient. The runes on the balconies, the energy field, all of it was designed to guide humans to this place. To see if we are ready. Lena's eyes widened. Ready for what? Milo shrugged. Knowledge, power, responsibility. Whatever the energy is, it's not meant for everyone. Only those who understand it, and can act wisely. They studied the device carefully. The runes on its surface shifted as their hands hovered over it, responding to their emotions, their intentions. Lena realized that the energy wasn't trying to tempt them toward personal gain. It was testing their wisdom, their courage, and their ability to think for the greater good. We have a choice, Milo said. We can try to unlock the device for our own benefit, or we can use it to help the city. To protect it from any danger we've seen in the visions. Lena felt a wave of temptation. She imagined using the device to create the perfect city, shaping it with her own hands. But she also remembered the vision of the city collapsing, and the warning in Milo's eyes. She knew that selfish choices could cost everything. We do it for the city, she said firmly. Not for us. Milo smiled, relief and pride in his eyes. Together, then. That's how we'll succeed. They placed their hands on the device together. The energy pulsed stronger, golden light wrapping around them like a protective wave. The visions appeared once more, showing the city in danger. A sudden surge of unstable energy from the planet below threatened to tear the floating towers apart. Lena and Milo saw the people running, the plants withering, the streets cracking. This is it, Milo whispered. We have to stabilize the energy. That's why it brought us here. Lena nodded. She focused on the golden light, imagining it flowing into the city below, balancing the energy, protecting the towers, and guiding the plants and machines. Milo mirrored her focus, their combined will shaping the flow of energy. The device reacted instantly. Golden streams of light shot from it, spreading through the platform, along the balconies, and into the city. Lena could feel the energy stabilizing, calming, and strengthening. The visions of destruction faded, replaced by the images of a thriving, glowing city. It's working, Milo said, awe in his voice. We're doing it. The device pulsed one final time, brighter than ever, then settled into a gentle glow. The energy around them hummed softly, peaceful and alive. Lena and Milo stepped back, breathing heavily, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. We passed the test, Lena said quietly. The energy trusted us. Milo nodded. It did. And I think, it left a message. He pointed to the patterns on the device. The runes. They aren't just symbols, they're instructions. Messages for anyone who comes after us. The aliens wanted to guide humans, to teach us responsibility and wisdom. Lena smiled, a mixture of relief and wonder. It's more than knowledge or power. It's hope. For the city, and for the people who will live here in the future. They spent the next few hours exploring the platform, documenting everything about the device, the energy, and the runes. Lena carefully traced the patterns, noting how the energy reacted to different touches and intentions. Milo recorded the flow of the golden light as it spread through the city. By the time the twin suns began to set, the floating city shimmered with a new brilliance. Towers glowed softly, energy streams hummed peacefully, and the gardens seemed even more vibrant. Lena looked down at the city below and felt a surge of pride. They had not only discovered the mystery but had also protected Elora from the danger the visions had warned them about. Milo stood beside her, his eyes reflecting the golden light. "We've done something important," he said softly. "The city is safer, stronger, and we've learned something about ourselves too." Lena nodded, feeling the truth of his words. The journey had tested their courage, wisdom, and unity. It had shown them visions of temptation and danger, and they had chosen responsibility over desire. The device pulsed once more, a gentle, approving glow. Lena understood it as a final acknowledgement, their choices mattered, and they had passed the challenge. But deep down, she knew the adventure was not over. The energy was alive, intelligent, and patient. There were more lessons to learn, more mysteries to explore. As the suns disappeared behind the floating towers, Lena and Milo stepped onto the edge of the platform, gazing at the city below. The temptation of the visions had been powerful, but together, they had chosen wisely. The future of Elora was bright and full of possibilities. The golden light of the device still pulsed softly on the hidden platform. Lena and Milo stood side by side, their hands brushing against the energy, feeling its warmth. The city below shimmered, safe for now, yet Lena could sense the energy's quiet expectation. It was waiting for one final choice, a decision that would determine the future of Elora. "We've come so far," Milo said quietly, looking out over the floating towers. "The energy has tested us at every step. But now it's asking for something more." Lena nodded, her thoughts focused. The visions they had seen earlier returned to her mind, the city thriving, the city falling, the temptations of power, the visions of personal glory. She felt the weight of responsibility pressing on her shoulders. One wrong choice now could undo everything. The device pulsed brighter, responding to their attention. Symbols formed in the air above it, shifting and changing. Lena realized that the energy was asking them to choose how to use its full power. They could take knowledge for themselves, gaining the ability to shape the city however they wished, or they could stabilize the energy fully, ensuring the city's safety. Milo's voice broke her thoughts. "Lena, if we use it just for us, we could see incredible things. We could understand everything, control everything." His eyes were wide with curiosity and desire, but also caution. "But, the visions showed what could happen. We might destroy the city without meaning to." Lena took a deep breath, her hand hovering over the glowing runes. She could feel the energy reacting to her thoughts, brightening as she considered the possibilities. "We can't do it for ourselves," she said firmly. "The city comes first. Everything else comes second. If we try to control it, we might fail." Milo looked at her, his expression serious but calm. "Then we do it together. For the city. For everyone." The device responded instantly. Streams of golden energy spread outward, flowing through the platform, down the balconies, and into the city. Lena felt it coursing through her, a gentle but powerful current that seemed to understand her intentions. Milo's focus matched hers, steadying the flow of energy. Visions appeared, showing the results of their choice. Towers strengthened, gardens flourished, and energy streams stabilized across the floating city. The people below moved freely and safely, unaware of the danger that had been averted. Lena felt a deep sense of satisfaction. The energy was balanced, the city protected. But the test was not over. The visions shifted again, showing alternative possibilities. What if they had chosen differently? What if they had taken the energy for themselves? Towers collapsed, energy spiraled out of control, and the city was in chaos. Lena shivered. The temptation had been real, and the consequences had been devastating. The golden light pulsed one final time, wrapping around Lena and Milo like a warm embrace. She felt the energy's approval, a quiet acknowledgement that their decision was wise. The visions faded, leaving only the peaceful shimmer of the city below. "We did it," Milo said, voice full of relief. "We made the right choice." Lena smiled, exhausted but proud. "Together. That's the only way we could have succeeded." They spent a few minutes observing the city, noticing the subtle changes. The energy seemed to enhance life everywhere. The floating gardens glowed brighter, machines moved with quiet efficiency, and the people seemed lighter, happier, more harmonious. Lena realized that their choice had not only saved the city but also improved it. Milo touched the device gently. "I think the energy, it's leaving something behind for the future. Instructions, guidance. Messages for anyone who comes after us." Lena nodded. "Yes. The runes, the patterns, everything. It's a legacy. A test for the next people who will explore the city and the planet beyond." They stepped away from the device, the golden light dimming to a soft, peaceful glow. Lena looked at Milo, a sense of quiet joy in her chest. "We've learned so much about the energy, the city, and ourselves." Milo smiled. "And we've learned that power alone isn't enough. Wisdom, patience, and unity, those are what matter most." As the suns began to set, casting long shadows across the floating towers, Lena and Milo stood on the platform, feeling a mixture of relief and wonder. The temptation of the visions had tested them at every step, showing both beauty and danger. They had faced it together, chosen responsibility over desire, and emerged stronger for it. The floating city of Elora glowed softly in the early morning light. Lena and Milo walked through the gardens, the golden energy from the device now flowing quietly through the city like a gentle river. The towers shimmered, balconies glinting in the sun, and the plants seemed more vibrant than ever. The people moved calmly, unaware of the danger that had once threatened their city. "It's amazing," Milo said, stopping to admire a floating bridge that stretched between two towers. "Everything looks alive, in a good way. The energy is helping the city grow, guiding it." Lena smiled. "It feels peaceful. And safe. We made the right choice." She looked out over the city, thinking about the visions, the challenges, and the temptations they had faced. "But the lessons we learned, they're just as important as the energy itself. We can't forget them." Milo nodded. "Yes. Responsibility, patience, cooperation, those are what really matter. The energy just showed us the way." They spent the day sharing their findings with the city's leaders and scientists. Milo explained how the device worked, how the runes on the balconies were connected to the energy, and how it responded to intention and emotion. Lena guided teams to stabilize energy flow, showing them how to harmonize it with the city's machinery and gardens. "It's incredible," one scientist said. "You've not only saved the city but made it stronger than ever. This knowledge, it will guide us for generations." Lena and Milo exchanged a quiet smile. The work was far from over, but the foundation they had built would last. The city was now a living balance of technology, nature, and energy. As the suns began to set, Lena found herself standing alone on a balcony, looking out over the clouds. The golden glow of the energy still shimmered faintly, like a memory of the visions they had seen. She remembered the mountains, the rivers of light, the beings of glowing energy, and the warnings of the device. Milo appeared beside her, offering a quiet smile. "It's beautiful," he said softly. "And it's real. Our city, our work, it's thriving." Lena nodded. "The energy showed us what could happen, both the good and the bad. And it gave us a choice. We passed the test." She paused, feeling the gentle warmth of the energy under her fingers. "But I think, it's not just about us. The energy leaves something for everyone who comes after." Milo looked at the glowing patterns on the balcony railing. The runes. The device. Messages for the future. The energy wants people to learn, to grow, to make the right choices. "Exactly," Lena said. "It's a legacy. A test, yes, but also a guide. For the people who will explore Illyro long after us." The two of them stood in silence, watching the city glow as the twin suns dipped below the horizon. The golden light of the device pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat, and Lena felt a quiet connection to the energy that had guided them through every step of their journey. "We've done more than protect the city," Milo said finally. "We've set an example. A way to live in balance with this energy. Future generations can learn from what we've done." Lena smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "And that's the true reward. Not knowledge or power, but the chance to make a difference." As night fell, the city shimmered with countless tiny lights, from glowing gardens to energy streams running through the towers. The balconies reflected the golden glow, a reminder of the challenges they had faced and the choices they had made. Lena and Milo walked to the highest balcony, looking out over the endless clouds below. "Do you think the energy is still watching?" Milo asked, a hint of wonder in his voice. "Perhaps," Lena replied. "Or maybe it's patient. Waiting for the next people to step onto the balconies, to face the challenges, and make their own choices. We can only hope they are wise, like we tried to be." Milo nodded. "And when they do, the city will thrive even more." The two friends stood quietly, feeling the soft hum of the energy around them. Lena's thoughts returned to the visions, the mountains, and the rivers of light. She realized that even though they had passed the tests, the energy would always offer lessons, beauty, and challenges. The temptation of the visions was gone, but the inspiration they had provided would remain forever. Finally, Lena turned to Milo with a gentle smile. "The city is alive, the energy is balanced, and we did what we came here to do. Now, we watch and protect, and guide others when they arrive." Milo grinned. "And maybe, one day, we'll explore even further. Who knows what else the energy has in store." They watched the stars begin to appear, twinkling above the floating city. Lena felt hope and excitement for the future. The lessons of the balconies, the energy, and the choices they had made would guide them and the people of Illyro for generations. The city thrived, alive with energy and possibility, a testament to courage, wisdom, and unity. The golden light pulsed softly one last time, fading into the night. Lena and Milo knew the energy would always be there, a quiet presence, a teacher, and a guardian. The adventure had ended, but the legacy of the floating city and the lessons they had learned would last forever.